We have with us Major General retired Raza Muhammad, and he has a vast experience, of course, being a military man himself and a diplomat, knows a lot about what's happening nowadays when it comes to UAE, the GCC, and the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Thank you so much, General Raza, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
General, the Secretary General said on the Monday that the Non-Proliferation Treaty has been eroding. He said it explicitly. Be direct with us. Has the treaty's central bargain that the 5 recognized powers would disarm in exchange for everyone else not arming, has that bargain been broken beyond repair? Or is there a credible reform pathway that we can follow in the view of this review conference?
Thank you so much. Actually, what the Secretary General of the United Nations has said is right in multiple ways. That there are few countries which have not signed that, and they are working on their nuclear programs, which are countries which had signed on the NPT. They were still working on the nuclear programs, especially the nuclear weapons programs. So that is how he said that it has been eroded. Secondly, it is important that what are the mechanisms to enforce the NPT or any such resolution which is passed in the National Security Council and otherwise. Over past 2 decades, about 2 decades, I would say, UN's authority or UN's efficacy has eroded, and the mere reason, I would say, is the 5 Ps. Those who were the guarantors of the United Nations, those who were to apply the rules to everyone equally, those who were to ensure that all the resolutions which are passed, they are implemented. I think they have themselves abrogated those.
True.
And we see every day some example, and especially from the United States and President Trump, that he has abrogated or held in abeyance or has actually walked out of so many international protocols and treaties.
If I take the question of who walks first if the treaty fails, we have a very clear example of Saudi Crown Prince who said that, and he said that openly, that if Iran has a bomb, Saudi Arabia must have one. Then South Korea has had a serious public debate. Japan has the technical capacity, we all know that, and Brazil is enriching. From your view, which country is most likely to take the first step toward a program, and what would the trigger be? Because what we are looking at is an Iranian breakout, a Russian use, an American withdrawal of guarantees. So much is going on. Everybody is looking for a credible deterrence, and nobody believes in the architecture of peace that exists right now. So how do you view this?
Yes, I think you very aptly point out all the weak areas which are related to NPT and other international treaties. Actually, if you go back a bit into the history, you see what happened to Libya, what happened to Gaddafi, what happened to Iraq, and what happened to Ukraine when they gave up their nuclear programs. And now what is happening to Iran? If Iran was a nuclear power, would this have happened to them? And similarly, other countries now think if they were the nuclear states, would someone will be coming and targeting them at will? So it is the international breakup of, I would say, international order or breakup of the world order, which was to be implemented, guaranteed, and to be ensured. Implementation was to be ensured by the 5 Ps, and especially United States of America, who should have been actually sole guarantor and sole implementer of the new world order, or the rules-based world order, as they say it.
Yeah.
But they themselves abrogated it, and after that, the confidence of people in the international institutions, whether it is the United Nations or other such mechanisms and treaties, has eroded. And now everyone is worried if they don't have a credible nuclear deterrence, as you very aptly put it, what will happen to them? And that is why the Crown Prince is also saying, Japan is not saying by word of mouth, but I know that they also want it, and Brazil is also already close to it. Iran actually voluntarily did not go for becoming a nuclear weapon state, because they also thought if they become a nuclear weapon state, they will become a pariah and they would be targeted by USA and other people, and they might have thought if they behave like good boy and don't possess the nuclear weapons, they would be free of the sanctions and they would be integrated into the international economic system. It happened otherwise, and today they must be repenting why didn't they have the nuclear bomb. So coming over to the conclusion, is the kind of insecurity which has bred all over and rupture of the rules-based world order, that which is forcing all the states, nation states, to think over these options and become self-sustaining and not depend upon the security guarantees of USA or other greater powers.
Right. General Azhar, not that nobody saw this coming, that UAE wants out of OPEC. There were political reasons, there were economic reasons, but how do you look at the timings? And specifically because you mentioned that for the next decade or so, US is going to remain the superpower of this world, do you think that the GCC is cracking? And it's cracking in the sense that it is leaning towards the Western actors more as compared to the global South?
I think, yes, cracking, I would agree that there are internal differences unless these are resolved and straightened up, and after this war is over, they get closer together and work out new arrangements. Cracks are there. Cracks may widen, actually, number one. Number two, about the United States of America, as I said earlier, that the countries will continue to interact or collaborate and cooperate in the security domain with United States of America, but a thought must have come to their minds that they need alternative arrangements, and alternative could be other countries, alternative could be their own abilities, self-sustenance, indigenous capability to withstand all the pressures, and they may be looking forward to building their forces, navies, air forces, and having the weapons of all kind. As you were hinting, that these all countries must be now thinking, why aren't they nuclear weapon states, or why can't they become a nuclear weapon state when Israel is there and it is being kind of they look other way and they are not pressurizing Israel. What will happen to the other countries of this region? But cracks there, yes. Who will replace America? No one is going to replace, I think, for the time being, but they will complement and supplement their ability to withstand the pressures and such kind of aggression through other means, including their indigenous capability.
Major General retired Raza Muhammad, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
And the 11th review conference of the Non-Proliferation Treaty opening in New York, the same week the world's military spending hit record high. The Secretary General telling delegates that the NPT is eroding, and the data behind him is telling us that he's right. So tonight's finding is that a regional bloc, an energy bloc, and a global treaty are breaking for one reason, all connected. The countries inside them have stopped believing the peace architecture they believed in will protect them. So they are walking out, arming themselves, and hedging differently. They are making their own arrangements with whoever offers the best protection. That is what the end of an order looks like. Not a single dramatic collapse, but a series of quiet exits pointing in the same direction. I am Zunaira Azhar, and this was DECODE. Good night.